Google I/O felt like a more of a rebranding of what Google wants to do with the AI, and a lot of reconsideration and lot of, I will say, just putting all things together. You know, uh, like majority of the things I saw, like we all saw on the event stage, it's not that it is something totally new. One of the major things of the keynote we always go to, especially since the AI has happened, is how AI is just changing. And we have talked about this before, but especially with the search, and yeah, Google did talk about a search a lot in this. Like the major portion, if you know, of the Google is specifically for search. So it is kind of a big thing. We are going to talk about that too. But the over the year, like past since 3 years, that since I'm seeing Google I/O event, it has been, like I said, no kind of a big deal, but about AI. And since last 3 years, the only struggle that Google was having was branding of AI and how they wanna market it. And now it has become much and much clear about how Google is gonna do that. So over the period since last year, Google is retrying a lot of things, and even the start of the Air AI journey, it was so they were so unclear about how they are going to market it, how even to the point of literally changing the name of their chat, like so basically their AI from, if you remember it, it used to call Brad. I think I remember Brad, right? Like it feels like a so old news now, but yeah, they then they basically changed it to Gemini, and we all thought they were going to stick with the Google Assistant, basically just the Google name, but they did not. They talked about Gemini, and they are at least sticking to the Gemini because, especially in this event, it was more of a rebranding towards Gemini and the blank. So Gemini Spark, Gemini like Antigravity, Gemini Omni. So everything was reconsidered and in a whole new repackaging of the name under Gemini, and that is what first thought I came when I saw the whole event multiple times now. And one of the things we are going to discuss in this whole episode, as you have like I have talked about in the intro too, is the future of how it is all going, especially with the search, and how just Google, I think, have right now has settled down on how it wanna basically market this AI kind of features. Not just Google, every other company has kind of found its way, follow trends and follow other companies' footsteps, like how OpenAI followed is now Anthropic footsteps of getting into more of a enterprise model rather than going for a consumer too hard. And that is what is helping OpenAI to gain more and more customers, and that is what I think Google is also trying to do with specifically Antigravity and getting AI into their every product. Now it is not like specifically AI was not available for their every product, so a Gemini basically is now integrated in every single Google product. It is available in your Google's Maps, that is Ask Map. It is available in YouTube now with the Ask YouTube feature. It is available even in the Docs, Sheets, Google Drive. I today only, but by the day I am recording this episode, I got an access to try this few new AI features specifically from Google, about this new AI integration in Google Docs, Google Drive, and Google Sheets. So it's like Gemini is everywhere since the start, and they are still integrating Gemini. The way they are integrating is different depending upon the different platform and different needs about it. Like we are going to talk a lot about that, but you see, the Gemini integration is always there. Since last year only, they mentioned how you can connect to your Google apps, go into that ecosystem, give your a Gemini, not agent, more of a context about yourself, your work, and it will get more work done. Now this year what they have done is specifically created specific different kind of whole package for different types of users of Google. So there are users of Google who are using Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Drive, and Google Gmail for the whole ecosystem for their work or personal work or whole company. Now what they have done is created something called a Spark. They have created a Spark where they talked about how a Spark agent, basically Gemini Spark, is going to do automation and task virtually for you. That is for that specific audience. Now Google has also basically created a different kind of an audience, basically for the different kind of an audience, for developers who like coding, who are into coding, and developers. Basically for them, they have created a platform basically called Antigravity. And as Antigravity is basically similar to what Codex has done. And if you are a Codex user, if you are a Claude Code user, this is exactly what the similar what Antigravity is doing here. So what Google has basically done is, rather than getting all people into same app, they have just kind of an like divided the work for different kind of an marketing value. So basically if you are an developer, there is Antigravity. If you are an just into the Google ecosystem and you want an agent, there is Gemini Spark. And if you just use Google services individually, there is still Gemini available in there. Basically AI integration is available. Like if you use YouTube, there is Ask YouTube, there is summarization of Ask. If you see, there is a Google Gemini logo besides like buttons, like button or playlist, save playlist, like basically near the like dislike button of the YouTube. So there is integration of Gemini everywhere. What with the event they have done is basically made it more of a uh, name difference, basically getting clear things about if you want this you get this, if you want this you get this, like you get the idea. So that was this whole event, like I'm calling it like the rebranding of the Gemini, and Google just reconsidering how they want to deploy AI to the different type of audience. So for casual audience, there is Gemini Spark. There is for coders like developers, there is Antigravity. And now on the every single Google app you ever see, there will be a Gemini integration of somewhat kind of an, even though you won't be using its whole ecosystem, there is Gemini available. And they have done a pretty good job, since I am talking about, since they ask Google Maps feature specifically. Since that, I think they are doing pretty good job of integrating it. I still haven't used the recent ones and the announced indefinitely in the event, but we are going to test and we are going to talk about it in the future, just like how you talked about in the codex, in the context of that. So yeah, that was kind of my initial expressions. Now there are other things that literally Google forgot. I don't know, they don't even mention it in even like their whole, the way they used to talk about, even in the event they used to talk about Project Astra, project like this there were the projects, and in that project there were like Project Marina, I remember project, like in that project there used to be this kind of features. So basically they, like I said again, remove all the distraction for the users, for the whoever like especially watching the keynote, for their like, and then just simplified it with the Gemini, like I said, Gemini blank, Gemini Spark, Gemini Integrity, Gemini Omni. They even removed VO. We are going to talk about that. So yeah, let's talk about some of the initial of one of the initial simple features that are Ask YouTube, Docs Live Edit. We are going to have a structure of how Google goes, basically how Google talk about in the event, and we are going into similar structure of that. So if you want to have direct go, like there are always timestamps available. So if you want to hear about specific thing, always go through the timestamp that are available or in the episode. If it is not available, just comment down like to let me know. So yeah, let's talk about the Ask YouTube, Google Docs Live Edit. They gave a demo about it, and Synth ID and Gemini Omni. So Ask YouTube is basically what it is. You can search YouTube now in a natural prompt, like natural language, just like how you do on LLMs, like on AI chat. So it is similar to like that, but the difference here is it's the way it provides the information, it not just finds the video, it also finds a particular video at a particular timestamp. So if you click that video and want that specific information up from the 10-minute, 20-minute, 1 hour video, you can, like, it will automatically get you that specific time, like you don't have to even select it. That's good. It also gives categorization of shorts and different information that is available. So basically the way, at least at the first stage it is right now, it is not, I haven't not used it at least for now, but at the stage it is right now, it is still for, I will say, specific, uh it is still, it still feels like a chatbot, like the videos and the text is available here. I hope they improve it, but at the stage right now, is pretty good. Now, if you know, YouTube has also introduced, there is kind of an ask button for specific videos only. They introduced this last year. So now basically this new ask YouTube is basically for bigger search on main search of the YouTube. But if you have used that specific ask for any for the specific video, if you there is a button available there, if you have used it, it is rough around the edges. So if you are seeing this podcast on YouTube, go ahead and ask to summarize this podcast to you or give timestamps for you. The YouTube ask whatever the feature is, it does not summarize its videos after 20-minute or 30-minute mark. So it only considers those kind of videos which are only mark up to 20 minutes, 30 minutes. After that, if the video is too long, it does not even give kind of an information. It has happened to me a couple of times. So it has happened to me, you can check for this video. If you are watching this on YouTube, check it for yourself. Like this ask feature, it is definitely does not have any kind of full access to it. I don't know what Google is and how it is approaching, especially YouTube, towards it. But yeah, it has its own kind of bugs and errors. But I mean, it's good. It's a good feature. I love it. To find specific kind of video with just natural language within YouTube app, rather than going towards multiple steps through AI chats and then here. But apart from that, they show us a docs live edit. So in the Gemini app, you can now create docs with a live conversation with it. Now it is really good, at least what we saw in the demo. I haven't, like I said, tested it, but with a natural language, just like it, you can prompt it with the live conversation and it will create it, and you can even edit the live docs just like how you want. I think depending upon how you want it, you can edit it even with the conversational you are having with the AI. So it is really good. I think it is also available for me right now in the docs, for Google Docs, but I haven't used it for now because I just got it. So yeah, I will test it. We can talk about in the next week episodes about this kind of live features or whatever the features that is available for me to test. So apart from that, Synth ID is there. So Synth ID is basically, if you remember, it has been around for 2 years now. Google introduced it. Basically, it is an ID specifically integrated in the AI generated images. So whenever you ask, if you want to find out basically if the AI video or image is AI generated or not, you can just run it through the Gemini AI app, and it will give you answers depending on if it is generated on Synth ID. Now the problem with the Synth ID was before is that it used to get generated. It used to be only available for Google. Now with this year, they have talked about it is available for OpenAI, NVIDIA, and 11 Labs. So 11 Labs is basically AI kind of a company which works with a lot of YouTubers. Basically, it is a company which helps in AI. Like if you might have seen its ads and ad campaigns all over, but it is a company which helps creators to translate their work with the help of AI. A lot of other stuff, transcriptions, subtitles. But now this one of those three big companies are going to use Synth ID too. So if the image is now generated from OpenAI, from 11 Labs, or from NVIDIA's, whatever the engine or whatever the image generation you are using from NVIDIA, it will now also be caught right there too, because they are also using synthetic. Now it is good that the whole industry is following that, but the major problem with, I will always say, with this AI image generation or the video generation, and it is going to be, and there is no stopping towards it unless and until the government regulations come into it, because there are so many open source model right now, specifically Meta. Like Meta has open source model now. With the help of those open source model, not just Meta is just one of the big companies with their llama models, but the amount of open sources are available, and there is so much not regulation right now, that no matter what the images, if someone wants to create, can create of you with explicit images, and no stopping of that, at least for now. So it is a big thing, and like I said, it's a world where we live in, where there are no regulations, specifically when these AI powerful models are deployed. And that is the major issue for image generation, video generation. We are talking since last year, specifically for social media, at least for the social media and the platforms we use all around for that. If this at least AI generated videos and basically photos are getting distributed or getting uploaded on these websites, I do think that it is websites at least simple kind of an work to detect it, that and at least label it is AI generated, that they are not doing. So one of the, like I said, it is good, but the problem is not going to solve unless and until it is strong regulations are there. So apart from that, the anti-gravity is there. Anti-gravity is, like I said, similar to what Codex is. Now I am using Codex for like 2 weeks for my apps that I'm building, not apps, and it is pretty good. And I have, like I talked about before, like I have done some of these smaller projects for me. I'm going to do similar with the anti-gravity. I haven't found any kind of a new compared to what Codex is specifically. Now let's see how fast of anti-gravity is, how in terms of output wise, what kind of answers it gives. Like I'm still in the testing phase. I got it couple of days ago only. So yeah, I will be talking about anti-gravity in next 2 or 3 episodes, because it is going to be a busy month, specifically with WWDC coming next week. So yeah, anti-gravity is there. If any of the developer, like I have again talked about before, if you are a student, like just if you have a student and have a laptop, just get the anti-gravity codex from the OpenAI or anti-gravity from the Google, and start building stuff. If you want to get to know about how these things work, because it is basically for free specifically, and you can make a lot of things with the free version for now. So I will highly encourage it, no matter what, it is going to get integrated in your work. There is no stopping it. So might learn it specifically for engineers. So that's there. Apart from that, let's talk about the Gemini Omni. So Gemini Omni is basically their new video generation model, and also a feature they talked about. Now what I called about earlier, that they are also rebranding VO. So their Google video generation model used to call, they call it, but is known as VO since the last year, and they heavily like talked about it, and it is available in the Google Flow, again a separate platform where you can use it. Now the problem with that, there is nothing problem with that, like again, with the whole concept of rebranding, there is now Gemini Omni, and Gemini Omni is not just a feature now, and not just a feature with a different name which use VO background, but they are completely rebranding with the VO name only. Like the API for Omni will be available in 1 or 2 months, so they are just abandoning VO. And the fact that, like I said again, it is whole getting packaging in the whole Gemini marketing, like Gemini Omni, just like Gemini blank. So VO is there. So VO is kind of an model with AI generation model, where it can generate a lot of different type of unique AI generated, like not just similar kind of an AI generated videos we used to see a lot. So like I said, AI is getting into different kind of an art style, different kind of an work, like stylization of video generation, which is good. I still don't like the fact that how we are just okay with the fact that, how these companies, AI, OpenAI, Google, and the fact that every other AI generation company just use the, in the name of the like in the name of open source videos, they have trained this all the models. And now how Google is training this all these models on the Google's YouTube and the search, they have such of a big engine, you know it's like it's just the fact that we are just okay with the fact that they're using the stuff that already, and the fact that they used, also the fact that they use the things that were not theirs. So basically what I'm trying to say, like, we are just okay with the fact that these models are getting trained on basically the work that the people have done before. Now with the art style of how Ghibli we talked about, is like, is there any limit to it? Like, why we are letting these companies to just extract, we are like, it's like stepping on their own, like stepping on our own grave, specifically when it comes to our jobs and comes to uh, people working in that similar industry. Like, we might not, like, I talk about a lot here, but I don't think people sometimes get the scenario of how bad it is until and unless it comes for them. Not going into that tangent too much of a thing, but Gemini Omni, Ask YouTube, and Docs Live Edit will be available, um, gradually. Right now it is available only in the US for now, for majority of the users. So if you are in US and watching this, check it out. You might have gotten these features, and it will gradually get to all the users all around the world till the end of, I will say, September, most probably. That just like how that is how Google is. Like, even the features that are available on the Pro and Ultra features that are available, that they have only given to those subscribers, those also will be available to all the free users in next coming months. That is how Google system works, basically. That is how Google works. So like I said, Antigravity, Gemini Omni, that is available not just in the Gemini but also is available in the Gemini Flow, where you can edit image generation, storyboard generation, you can do there. And Antigravity for developers. And now we will be talking about Spark, but you can just see how the differentiation that Google is trying to do with, depending upon the audience and the usage of the audience. Like, the Antigravity is specifically made for coders and people who want to do much more in the coding side and the back, like in the software development side. And the Gemini, like, it's not that Gemini could not used to do these kind of things before. What was the before condition for Google was, is just that it was congested in that whole one app, and it was hard for Google to, like, to say people like this can do everything rather than showing it. So now what they have done is basically distinguish in terms of naming wise, naming convention, and shown people what it can do. So it is much of a easier for people to understand, and also the fact that it is getting kind of a separate thing, it is a good thing, because rather than having one thing for all is better than what, like, it's not better, it is rather than uh, uh, having different aspects of, like, for developers, for software development, for different things, is better than having just one thing at all once, like just like it used to do before. So yeah, let's talk about the Spark, Gemini Spark. Again, here there is the name Spark. So basically, Gemini Spark is an AI agent. Will be available in every other Google apps. It will be available, and specifically it will be available for Gemini AI app. Now, it is an AI agent which, in a simple words, it is just an AI agent which can do virtual tasks even with the device closed, and across devices and across platforms. So it is not restricted towards, let's say, for just only Android. It is not restricted towards just Mac and Windows. It is available through cross platforms of apps. So basically, if you have an iPhone, if you have basically any kind of device and you have Google ecosystem, basically all the Google apps, basically Gmail, and you use it for your regular day-to-day work, whatever it is, then I think Gemini Spark is for you. So that is how they pitched it, and what I saw is really remarkable. Like, the Spark is not just an AI agent available on Gemini app. It is an AI agent that can hop on through different apps that is within Google, basically through YouTube, through basically Gmail, Sheets, Google Sheets, Google Docs, Drive, and it and also your Gemini apps, and basically can do the work for you. So any kind of an automated the demo they gave about creating doc and creating docs, not doc, creating docs, creating email, and using the context of different Google apps that are documents available there to make and draft an email here. It is kind of an that and those kind of an work can be now done with this Spark. So like I said again, this is for the audience who are in the Google ecosystem, like I do use a lot of Google Sheets, Google Docs, and Gmail, Drive, and majority of the people do have this kind of like they use on a some level, depending upon how they use it, do have it and do use it regularly. Like even before my YouTube work, I used to, since the start of my Google ecosystem, I do use this app. So it has a lot of context of the work I do, you know, and the fact that they have deployed a agent which can do the task cross platform, which does not care which devices you use and does not care, like it is just between platforms, which is good. Like what it does basically is a virtual AI agent which does task virtually, which opens on the behalf of you on their server, which does tasks on the fly. It is basically just like how Gemini Intelligence was, that we talked about in the last episode of Android IO event, where the difference between Android's Gemini Intelligence and this Gemini Spark is that Gemini Spark will be available only on the Google apps, and that is an agent which will be only do work and virtual tasks within the Gemini apps, sorry, Google apps, not Gemini apps, Google apps. So yeah, and the Gemini Intelligence is more of a work when it comes to different apps too. So it is, they are partnered with a lot of other companies to make that work. So it's a long shot, but when it comes to Gemini Spark, it is kind of like an agent which can do a lot of work because it is only restricted towards just specific apps and can do a lot of work depending on whatever the devices you have. That is the major selling point for me. Like, one of the things that Google launched is their own agent, which the fact that they don't have to rely on any other company or any other like, let's say they don't have to rely on too much on iPhones like the Apple or any other gatekeeping stuff, because it is within their apps and they know that the fact that, and they introduce an agent there is really good. So yeah, that's Gemini Spark for you. Now again, I haven't used it. It is still not available for me. It is still in the beta testing. Like, it is only available to selected users and kind of an, obviously the users who pay Google, basically the pro subscriber, whatever the ultra subscribers they call, they will be getting first, and most probably in the next, in the fall month or in the September, in the month of, or in the last quarter of the year, we might get all the free users this Gemini Spark feature. But for now, it is available only for the paid users. I get it. I might test it in next couple of episode, you might see, because I still haven't got it. I am a pro subscriber, but it is gradually rolling out for all the people. So it is available only for people in the US right now. Even though I am a subscriber right now, it still isn't available for me. But one of the fact that also was a lot of talk about on the internet was the fact that the Josh use iPhone for the demo, and it is deliberate deliberate from the Google to show the iPhone, to show that it is not depend upon any kind of device. They want to show the partnership with like they have with the iPhone and the Samsungs, and within their own phone. Like, they have to juggle a lot because Samsung won't be showing Google Pixel majority of the time in their event, not at all. But the thing is, like they compare to what Google shows, how Samsung they are partnered with, and every other event there is going to be a Samsung device. Even in their own Pixel event launch, there is a Samsung device. But Google Google want to just show that this feature, and I get it. What kind of an projection they wanted to give out, and the fact that they also talked about in the end of the event how the MacBooks, the command button, you can just select it, and you can give commands to Gemini Spark on the go rather than just typing it out, was kind of an awesome. So it is a really insane, I will say, when it comes to what, how, and what the things can Gemini Spark can do. I am looking forward to use it. More of an fact that I'm also looking forward to how it will work is much of an important thing for me rather than just how cool it is. Because see, the thing is, majority of the thing I have talked about, and I have talked about it in the past, that when it comes to AI features, the agentic browsing or agentic browsers are out there right now, who do virtual browsing for you, or the agentic like basically the agents that are available. The fact that they don't always, like, I am just not satisfied with what, especially the free versions. Like I haven't used the paid ones, or the fact that specifically the what Perplexity is doing with the Perplexity computer, which looks cool, which I see is like a really good. I want to test it, but it's first of all in the paid version. Like I might test in next 1 or 2 months to check it out how it goes. And we talk about it a lot, that how they are going towards in the background and getting away with a lot of stuff too. But in the fact that, like, there are agents available, but the fact that it needs a lot of testing to make sure like it does the work. And just like how I said in the before episode, more of a automation task would be much, I would much give much of a complicated automation task to do it repeatedly, rather than just to rely on it too much when it comes to regular day-to-day work. That is how I see for right now. Let's see how it works for now. But yeah, this is like Gemini Spark for you. If you are any kind of have any kind of integrated AI agents in your workflow, or use any kind of AI automation tasks that you do, let me know, because I want to know, I want to get into it, I want to set automation if it works or not perfectly. Because one of the things that I'm working on with the codex is basically to get to basically to build, or basically to build uh, a web page for me and an app for me to basically, first of all, we are building a web page, but we are also building an app there for with the help of codex. I'm trying to do it with the help of that. Like I want to get to know my daily brief, like what Google talked about. They like in the event, like when they talked about their daily brief. Even Spotify talked about we talked about how Spotify is getting into daily brief with the AI summarization, like every other company is getting to it. But I don't see any kind of like, I use mostly iPhone, so there is no move from the iPhone side, basically, because let's see what they do in the WWDC. But right now the agents, like, they are restricted, like no heavy major device specifically in I use right now. I use there is available that Samsung's and a lot of the other AI, not AI but smartphones that are. But I'm looking forward to what iPhone, like iOS and Apple, like basically Apple does with it. I'm looking for, because I do need this kind of and stuff, automation. I'm loving it because, like I said again, more of an automation task is much of a reliable than to rely on it on the task, like, yeah, do this work for me or order this for me, and I rely too much on it. And we will talk about that, specifically in the search. But yeah, that is it for Gemini Spark, Gemini Omni, Antigravity. Like couple of features we just brushed or like talk about in a quick way. But yeah, that is it. So we will take a break here, and after a break we will be talking about the major thing, and basically the Google's whole uh, market, or basically the Google whole identity, that is their search, and how they are taking it seriously or not, or what are they doing this time, So we will talk about Google search and how it is reshaping the internet, and how publishers and creators should be aware of these things, So let's, like, we will talk about it after a break right now. So see you then. Welcome back. Let's talk about the search, what Google is doing with their search, and uh, what is this year's new AI mode. So basically, last year they talked about AI mode, AI overviews a lot, and yeah, this year they are not just talking about that, but doubling on that. So Google search is Google's basically the major business, and also why Google just exists because of search. That is their major market and major business. Over 90% of the market is captured by Google search engine and Google search, and majority of the browser business is also captured by the Chrome, which also owns by Google. Basically, more than half of the planet, more than 4 billion people on the planet, like, just uses Google search engine for the search, and just Google search on day-to-day basis. So it is a big deal. So it is a big deal for Google. It is a major revenue and major thing on what Google stands around right now, because Google is the only company which basically just dominates, or just not just even dominate, which is the only company right now in this space that uh, which change the course of which with a specific kind of an updates, features drop, can just change the course of how internet looks. And that is what it is happening since the AI launch. So AI mode that they talked last year when they launched it is now available to every other. It is available in the Chrome, it is available in the Google search, and it is available to every other people on the planet who uses Google now. AI mode and AI overview they launched last year. This new kind of a search is the combination of AI overview, Antigravity, and AI mode, Antigravity, and Google Spark. So how it is combination, let's talk about it. So basically, there are agents now in the search. There are uh, more of a interactive search than just text based search or the web based search that we used to know a lot. And there is a lot of just AI generated search results, more than what it was before. Basically, they are just defaulting and doubling down on that. So let's talk about agents. So they have an agent called information agent that they talk about. They are not specifically calling it that, but they on the keynote that they talked about, they talk about it like it is an information agent. What it does is basically whatever you are searching, type keep me updated kind of a prompt. Basically it is a prompt type. The agent gets activated whenever you type a prompt like keep me updated on this issue, or keep me updated on the stock market, keep me updated on this, if it is available in the stock or not, the specific thing you are buying. So it is kind of an agent which gives you time to time update depending upon how you ask the search. So basically if you just ask it like keep me updated on the next game that is going on, like and it will give you, and it will keep you updated on the next game, whatever it is happening, the score. And it is a agent that works on the background and will give you a pop-up notification that this is the information, and you can click it and go ahead with the search. So it is the agentic kind of a browsing that you can talk about. So it is not, again, not new. A lot of keep me updated kind of a feature and kind of an prompts and kind of a daily brief kind of a system where agent will give you agent will go on the behalf of you and will search the internet for you, is done since the last year. It's just like I said, Google is a majority part of this industry, and it is really really interesting because when the Google adopts it, it is going to be a industry defining thing. So it is a lot of big change when something Google does with their search, because a lot of businesses are depending on it, and a lot of just basically the internet just floats and is around that, that Google search. So information agent, so that is kind of a similar version of what Gemini Spark is work behind you. Now it is also talk about anti-gravity, how an anti-gravity is getting involved. So Google talks about entire section, majority of the section, about how UI and interactive can search be. So now they are promising a custom based UI interactive search for every other type of search you are getting into. So they showed the demo of planetary revolutions or the black holes. Basically what they're trying to show is every time you search and you ask for a visual and a UI interactive, the search will give you. So search will give you the interactive UI, which works in the background with the help of agents like anti-gravity, and will give you this interactive UI that you wanted. So the example that they showed was basically of couple of planetary revolution to understand this is simple kind of an concept, which is good, because what they are promising is a huge thing, specifically when it comes to UI interaction, because it is a big task to do, specifically the amount of searches that happen all around the world, and the fact that just if Google can give you custom answers for every other questions, or just basically every other search you do, is kind of a big deal. So that is a kind of an anti-gravity agent working in the background of this search. Now when it comes to that, so basically you will be getting an UI interactive design, which let's see, because they also talked about the table format, and you will be getting custom information about in a way that it is much more precise, that it's still not available, like available but still not up to the mark that they have promised, and I get it. So you can just see the whole thing is surrounding around how Google is deploying the agents and deploying this new kind of like anti-gravity is in the work of the background, the AI mode and the agents that they're back in the background working. And we will also be talking about the shopping, which is again a big deal, but we will talk about that too. But these are some of the new AI search. Basically the new AI search era has just not just started, like it has started since last year, but this is kind of a new search era where every other person will get a different answer. Every other person will get a custom answer for whatever their context is, if Gemini has it, and the Google has the data of you. So it is not going to be same at all. It is not going to be how web used to look like. Now is it going to solve the problem of how the Google zero that everybody is talking about, and how the internet will collapse, or basically how the internet will just survive in this AI era where LLMs are just extracting this in kind of an information from the websites, and websites are just going to get down. Now it is solving, is Google has provided any kind of a solution to that, or any kind of like a future that both can exist? No. From the keynote from the Sundar Pichai, like I said, the interview that I saw when it comes to Decoder, Nilay Patel, I will link down if it is available on the YouTube. But the fact that it is still kind of an, I will say, Google is hoping for, I think, some kind of an answer from the internet only, or the people, besides from them, because I thought Google would be the one who would making some kind of a big decision of how the internet will work and internet will survive in this LLM era, where LLMs are just extracting information. And one of the fact that is that it is going in the fact that the search is down, the traffic is down for a lot of these companies for the web pages since last 2 years, since the launch of these LLM chats. And the fact that these AI chatbots are extracting information from them is kind of, and like I said again, an issue where how is it going to again survive? Now we have kind of an talk about the vice versa event. Basically, AI can't survive without these web pages or the content that is already available, and no matter how smart AI gets these LLMs, and it is not going to generate itself stuff, which is does. That is also another thing that we talked about a lot. But the fact that it needs both of the sides, like it needs the web pages to provide you the answers, so it is vice versa. Like both of these can exist in a world, but the fact that there is no kind of an initial approach from these companies, and there is just unknown a lot towards when it comes to these the publisher are just kind of an in a tough spot when it comes to this AI, where they have to look around. The SEO system is just getting destroyed. The market will be just wiped out, I think, in next couple of years. The SEO market and the prompt market might get bigger and bigger as AI works on most of the how you prompt it, and the prompt market might go up specifically for publishers and the SEO market. But the thing is, the publishers are in a tough spot. They have to kind of and look around and make their stuff a lot make their stuff into paywall, or look around at different options than just the ad revenue, or depend too much on the Google when it comes to traffic on their websites. Like uh, it is not an viable option anymore, like I said. And there is no option, or there is no hope that it is Google giving since last 2 years of AI integration in the search. And it is going to be really hard for the publishers all around the world to get traffic and how to get their revenue up, and or just how to get just traffic, not even revenue, how to get just traffic that is going down and down since AI, and need to work around the stuff like different form of media format they need to try out. So there are a lot of stuff, like uh, we you can use it because the dependency of on Google is going down. So there are a lot of things to talk about there. Let's see if we get any kind of a new perspective, or you guys can have any kind of a new perspective around it. Let me know down in the comment section is how the internet will look, because what I think for right now is there can be a common ground, and there can be a lot of, like, I think we'll talk about it. We have talked about it in the last year, how Google can just work with these websites and basically can work with the monetization work for where when it comes to traffic generation, where how Google can give more and more traffic and can just basically give uh, uptick when it comes to uh, getting audience, basically the users towards the website specifically, rather than giving own answers from it. So it is kind of an, I will say, a big thing. But yeah, because as AI is getting into is ad model 2 of how ChatGPT is integrating ads in their AI chat, it is going to get tricky and a lot of more messier than before. So let's see how it is for now. But we will go forward and talk about Google, basically the shopping system that they have created. Google Shopping is kind of a big, where Google has now introduced three way of layering that they talked about how they are going with this new kind of an features, and in the agentic AI era, how it is going to work out, specifically when it comes to payments and when it comes to the shopping, basically. So Google has introduced UCP, Universal Commerce Protocol, and a universal card, that is UC, and A2P, Agentic Payment Protocol. We will talk about it one by one. So UCP, I think, is Universal Commerce Protocol, is a common language between the stores means e-commerce stores. E-commerce stores means Amazon, Flipkart, Target, Walmart, whatever you use it. And those e-commerce platforms, whatever they sell it, it is a kind of a common language that these stores and Google will use together to get that one seamless look. Google gave kind of an example lot of where how the payment system, and not just payment system, but the UI of how new search will work, the product placement and the product, basically the details and how you are going to buy it, and there that the whole UI can be seamless and can be look good if they use this universal commerce protocol that they talked about, which is kind of a good and clean look. And they have partnered with every other famous e-commerce platforms all around the world, specifically even Amazon, that majority of the people use it all around the world, not just any specific countries I'm talking, but Amazon is one of the one, and they are also the partner here to work with Google with this UCP. So I am looking forward to it. It is still not deployed, like I said, it will be gradually deployed. Now it is kind of an fact that they are trying to get is a seamless experience here. So UCP is for that. um, I can get more depth in that in future episodes, the more I know about it. So apart from UCP, they also talk about the A2P protocol, basically Agentic Payment Protocol. A2P is a payment system that the Google has created, and how payment and how agent can browse for you and agent can pay for you from your behalf, has kind of a layer system to it, and how Google has introduced this A2P for the transparency and kind of a reliability. Now we will talk about that. There are two factors in it. Now the first one is basically you can give agent a specific, basically two accountability factors they talk about. Basically you can give agent the limit to how much you want to specific product to be purchased. So basically let's say if you are buying a smartphone and you don't want to buy a smartphone that is more than $700 or $800, let's say you can mention that to the AI that don't show or don't buy or just don't show me the products that are more than this, that is specific price. Or let's say if you are buying even smaller things, that is $100, $10, $5, whatever it is, you can always mention and agent will follow it as Google mentions it. We still are unknown about it, as we know the fact that the history shows that agents can make mistakes. Now the fact that let's talk about the second one. The second one is basically giving you a transparent digital trail. So basically whatever the agent steps took to buy it, and basically all the receipt kind of a system form will be given to both the sellers and purchasers. So any kind of an problem within that digital trail is, so any kind of an, let's say, agent by mistakenly buy something that you don't want it to, and even if you have provided limit to it, if it is buys, then you have its transparent digital trail that they talk about. And with the help of that, what we can do is just talk about with the seller is like, yeah, my agent mistakenly brought this car, dude, you know what, how about I return it? What the heck is like, how we are like letting them go away with the fact that now they and both, like, how the fact that they are introducing a feature and they are the one who is stepping back when it comes to their accountability of it. Like if say the agents really fuck up and have an error, have a problem, and buy something much more expensive, or buy something, go on around a sprint about buying something again and again and again, which I don't even want, which has happened. We have seen countless example. What we should do, we should solve between me and that seller. It's like, how the heck Google thinks even of that? Like, why can't you just give more multiple steps and accountability from just your side about this payment system? Like, it is so bad out right now when it comes to the fact that these companies just gives out this kind of an AI features, agentic features, and when it comes to accountability and when it comes to this kind of, let's say, the you can provide a lot of more security, you just fall back, like they could have added a lot of systems to it, like when it comes to payment, like they could have added wallet system to it, to agent, like agent cannot spend, like not just instruction to give specific settings, like agent cannot spend not at all when it comes to this specific pricing. This is the only amount you have to go. It's like, if by mistaken, like if let's say I have linked my credit card to this agent and it just goes and buys, unless like till the point that my credit card is maxed out, then what's the point? So it is kind of a lot of scary scenario. And the fact that the Google is not even taking the responsibility, like Google can do a lot of things there, like to give us a kind of insecurity there, but they are not, and they are just deploying this out there just because they want, and just because they want to show how they far ahead they have come, like what the heck. But yeah, like I got mad a little when they were talking about it in the event. I was like, how unaware are you of the situation outside of your own office? Like that is not how the world works, or not on the internet always works, that you are providing. But yeah, apart from that, they also talk about, we will talk about that. I will try to use this like I will always say, don't rely when it comes to payment. The amount of, I think we have given the information, sorry, the amount of time it needs to take, it takes to just do a payment is so negligible. I think you should do and go ahead and just do the payment yourself, no matter how much of a good agent it is. Like I don't know how much amount of piece or how much amount of things you are buying in there, like it just takes couple of seconds, like not more than 10 seconds it just takes to just, yeah, like, yeah, this is the product I want. Just when it comes to payment, like not more than 10 seconds in the now and day modern era, when it comes to all net banking UPI system that is here in India, and basically whatever the systems that all around the world is, like it is so much have become easier. Please don't rely on this AI agent. That is what I will always say, no matter how good it is, because it is, first of all, it is better to have known what you are spending on rather than letting another person spend, unless and until you are a millionaire or a billionaire, like that does not matter too much to you. But yeah, I will say don't rely when it comes to payment system. uh, no matter what kind of a transparent trail or digital trail they give you, or accountability they have, it takes a couple of times. But apart from that, the another part of what the shopping system, what they have introduced, which I liked and I'm very much into using it, and very much into going into testing it right when I get it. But they talk about intelligent cart. So basically the cart system is now universal. So basically whenever you add a cart, so basically around all the, whenever you search any kind of a product, whenever you add to it, it will be available in your cart. That is one cart for everything. If you add something from the YouTube section that is specific merch, it will be available there. From the Amazon, it will be available there if you connect it, basically, and it is will be available in that one universal cart, they say. Now one of the examples that they gave us, that is universe, when it comes, like when to show us the intelligence of the AI right there, is when it comes to building a PC and you are buying different parts of it, it will, if you have if you have gotten the wrong parts for it, and if you have gotten the wrong parts for the agents and wrong parts for the, not agents, for the PC building, and they are not compatible with each other, they are not basically does not even work for each other, it will suggest you that like whatever you are buying, specifically these two don't go with each other. Let's say the motherboard or the GPU or the case or the motherboard or the basically the items and the case. So basically whatever it is, whatever you are buying, it will just suggest you that it is not compatible, and now you know it, and if you want to change it, You can just suggest, and it will all it has already given you the suggestion that, like, this is much more compatible and this is actually compatible for it than what you have selected, and you can just replace it. That is kind of an, I will say, a big kind of a W from the Google side when it comes to intelligent cart. And I'm looking forward to use it and how it works, and the fact that it can suggest things, and even the pricing point, like it can suggest like the costs are lower here, you can buy it now, and all these things, like it will get available right after this time, it will give you notification. There are a lot of things there, but which I actually like, which I'm actually looking forward to use. So yeah, universal cart is really, I'm looking forward, and one of the features that I said at the start which I actually liked. So that's there for, I will say, for the universal cart. But the thing here you should understand, especially with the UCPs and even in the universal cart, it's not that Google has created its own store. Google is just providing a platform for these stores, and Google is just providing the fact that things like UCP, Universal Commerce Protocol, it's a basically what Google is trying to do, what it did with the Android. Basically, it is providing a platform for the stores, e-commerce stores, or all around the world, which again is defining factor for it when it comes to search, because they also know Google is dominant in when it comes to search, user base when it comes to that, and they need to cooperate with them. So basically what it is that Google is not creating, so you are still buying from Amazon, you're still buying from that only target only. It's not that you are getting buying from Google. I think you understand that, like it is simple. Basically UI and kind of an platform is creation is done by the Google side this time. Like this is here what actually what Google does every other time. So I'm looking forward to use it. I'm looking forward to how the A2P systems will be working, how the UCP, basically the common language between, how they are going to seamlessly experience if you want to buy it without going into their websites, basically without even going to into the commerce platforms. I am looking forward to use it, so let's see how it goes. But yeah, that is it, I will say, for the whole event. Now apart from that, Google also introduced a lot of other things. Google talked about Google Glasses, which is coming again in fall, which is again ultimately coming uh, in the October month when it comes to the Pixel event. That again they are partnered with Warby and Gentle Monster. Again they talked about this in the last year, but same talk. We did saw a demo which is better than the last year, but the thing is it is still not available, and I will be talking much more uh, when we will be I will be talking much more about it when the Meta event happens, where Meta will be also launching their new glasses, I think, and we can talk about that much more when at that time, because we don't have too much of information anything about that. But apart from that, they also talk about generative media. They talk about the new Google Pix and basically Google Gallery kind of a system where every kind of an AI editing feature is available. Now I don't know, but the fact that they gave us such a little time in the end, I think it's just a fleeting. It will be getting integrated in the Pixel, in the Android overall system, which I think is kind of an like I said, a lot of things feels like even in the Android IO event, like I said, it felt like more of a prologue, more of a than the event itself. The reason why it is because they are saving it all of for specific events. Like they saved up a lot of for the Google IO event, and they are saving a lot of for the future updates, specifically for Pixel event, because that is, they are doubling down on Pixel. They don't want to let that, they want to grow that market. So yeah, like these are the things we did not talk about in the depth, but they announced it. And last time, and the last section was just Dennis coming and talking about, just like Sam Altman, that AGI is coming. We are here. It is just around the corner. I don't know, I think there is a board of meeting I can imagine when it comes to Google, and everything is perfect when it comes to the event, and the investors are saying to the event, like to the Sundar or Dennis, is like, you have to go there and talk about AGI, you know. That is the bigger deal. That is how we are making money out of it, you know. You have to talk about it. Like, I think even Dennis knows how dumb I think we are talking about in the end about AGI, rather than giving realistic approach towards it. I'm like, what the heck, dude? Like, what is it? Like, every other year, every other month, we are saying AGI is here. Every other Twitter tweet is like, yeah, this is getting destroyed because of this new AI agent. AGI is here. Like, I'm like, please calm down. It is not that much of a big deal, guys. Even if AGI comes, I don't know what is going to do it. You know, is it going to solve the universal problems? No, it is not, because people does not uh, like, it is just too much of a thing that to expect from when it comes to AGI, because of the thing is the amount of hype and the amount of shitty things that these executives, not I'm talking about Dennis is shitty, is that the fact that they have to talk about it just to talk about, like, yeah, we are still making our AGI out, we are still into the race, and we are going to make our first AGI in the Google, blah blah blah. But yeah, apart from that, I will say the overall event was a good kind of, and I will say, for me, compared to last 2 years, you know, where Google was unsure about what they are talking about, what they are saying when it comes to marketing the AI agent, sorry, the AI market. Now they are, I feel like, much of a company which knows where the flow is moving towards, and not just Google but every other AI company is moving towards any, like, the specific directions about how they want to make this business profitable. Because last 2 to 3 years we just talk about how AI and AGI is around the corner, rather than talking about how actually AI is going to integrate it in our work life, in the software, even in the software companies, like even in the development, and where there is so much of a use of an AI, actual use of AI. It was so unsure even in the companies like that. Now they are kind of getting around with the enterprise models, just like how Codex and Antigravity and Cloud Code is getting around much more of a better and better. And now they are getting hang around, like, yeah, this is what we need, this is what the agent, like, this is what the AI we need for our specific task, you know. So I think AI products are getting for now, but it is still far away from the fact that, I will say, still needs to be refinement, and still needs to be a lot of adjustment around it. Because I don't think, like I said, we are getting a lot of stuff from the AI, but the thing is, people still don't know how to integrate it. And the large companies, like I said, it is impacting a lot of when it comes to the software companies and companies who rely heavily on the engineers, and their layoffs are happening, no doubt. The restructuring is happening, but even after restructuring, the amount of money they are spending on the AI does not, like I said again, justifying the fact that they laid amount of so much amount of people, and the fact that they are not getting the amount of return is kind of, and like I said, in a tricky situation. So a lot to talk there. We will talk about that in the future. The state of AI when it comes to software engineering, and lot. I'm reading a lot about that. Apart from that, Omni was a replacement for VO. VO is now, I will say, slowly, gradually go into the sunset, and will be not even named in next couple of months from the Google side. And Antigravity is there for developers, and so, like I said, a lot of categorization of work. Let me know your thoughts about it. I think I will say that overall are really unsure, like overall a really good things that Google announced, but they are themselves unsure how the audience will receive it. So yeah, that's why they are so unsure about the search too, that the fact that they are still not talking about how it is going to be in the future. But yeah, let's see how it goes. We will be talk like there are a lot of other so much so topics that to get around just search we can talk about hours, but the fact that the IPOs are happening, SpaceX IPOs, Anthropic has officially filed an IPO for this week only. SpaceX in the transition of getting into publicly based company when it comes to IPO. We have to talk about that. OpenAI is around. They are also confident because Anthropic is much more valuate when it comes to valuation. They are much more bigger than OpenAI right now when it comes to valuation, because like more than $900 billion. I need to check it again. But yeah, so it is kind of a neck and neck with OpenAI and Anthropic. They are kind of fighting for the IPO position. And then there is SpaceX, where which a lot of people you were saying and still might be the one of the most biggest IPO filing, which might be about $1.25 trillion. Kind of like I said, a bigger deals are happening. I will see you guys next week. This is it for this week's episode of the Tech Guy podcast. And like and share, comment down whatever your thoughts are, what you like, what you did not like, even about me or what our goal, or just comment down. Comment section is available. It is important for when it comes to podcast to comment down. Yeah. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. This is it for this week's episode. See ya.